We're living in Matthews, and the commute was a little longer than we wanted the first time. The first time we bought, it was an incredibly competitive market, and we just kept losing offers, going further and further out of town trying to find something just to meet our needs. It was farther than we wanted to go, and then Megan got a kind of a relocation of the same job but in a different building uptown, so commutes were double as bad. So the idea was to get closer into town, and then to get a nice house. Had a few different needs to meet our different lifestyle that had changed, with a dog and
needed the fence.
and other things like that just changed, that we tastes in a home changed a little bit, but other than that, mostly the commute is what changed.
Yeah. Couldn't do the hour-plus one-way drive with a 7-year-old, so we had to make the decision to move. Karen is so laid back, and she's just friendly and down to earth, and I mean, you joke with her, and I don't know, she's just very comfortable to work with, but she's also incredibly knowledgeable, and I don't know, I trust her a lot. When she's answering your question, she's answering it from a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, she's coming from a whole lot of experience, and like Megan said, it's like she's just speaking very calmly and very confidently. You can tell she knows exactly what she's talking about. You can tell she's been through this 1,000 times. And, with something like this, when you're kind of making huge life decisions, you want someone that's very confident and calm at the same time, very knowledgeable. So, and then she's friendly and just fun to be around, so it's not bad to have that too.
And I'll say too, I know a lot of folks who are buying and selling houses right now, just the nature of the market, I think. And you hear horror stories about other realtors who, our neighbors up the street, they came in and she met with multiple that pushed them to list it really low, because I think they just wanted to make, I guess, their commission and move it quickly. I mean, Karen will give you her opinion, but at the end of the day, it's our decision. So she gives us all the information, and if we wanted to push back on something, she would tell us what she thought. But again, she's not pushy, and she does not give the impression, which I think a lot of realtors do, that she's all out for her commission. She's trying to help us, and yeah, I mean, that's her job. At the end of the day, that is how she makes her living. But you don't have to worry that she's doing it because of personal motives. She's doing it because she's trying to give us the best advice to make the best decision.
Each step in the process and the timing of everything, when to schedule this thing in relation to, let's say, due diligence. You want to make sure all of the timing and the logistics of the strategy is a better word, of kind of planning your offer and counter offer and listing and selling and how and when and why and where. She can navigate all of that, like I said, with a lot of confidence, and does it always in our best interest to say it's better if you waited a day to see if they say this, and then you can, So there's a lot of strategy involved to make sure that we're always positioned well, and that always comes out to our benefit when we listen to her as to those kinds of strategies.
I will say too, she was really flexible with us, because we made the decision to list our house when we knew we were going to be out of town, because as we mentioned, we have a crazy puppy. So we wanted to have him out, the house be spotless. She brought in somebody to help us stage the house, which I think was hugely helpful. I mean, we had an offer within 8 hours of listing it. But we were on a plane, so I mean, she was just really flexible, working with us and advising us on, you have so many showings the next day, why don't you wait? Because I tend to make decisions a little quicker, and I was ready to be like, wow, that was an amazing offer, let's go. But she kind of counsels and works through. To Matt's point, the timing of everything was hugely beneficial to us. When it came to buying a house, I think I was the most nervous about that piece. I thought ours would sell relatively quickly, but we had done the multiple offer thing multiple times when we bought our last house. And same, we just weren't in a position to offer, I think, what we needed last time. This time, we were. So she was really able to look at the comps in the neighborhood, talked to us about the size of the house per square foot versus what those had gone under contract and sold for. And again, she's not pushy, but she does give you information, and she lets us make the decision on what we're comfortable with. She's great at follow through and follow up. And, I know there was one situation where the other realtor had texted her something. I can't even remember what the words were, but she's like, I'm not sure what we're trying to say, but let's do this because of kind of how I read that text message. Just to hopefully position us in the best possible situation to win the multiple offer. And we did. And I credit that a lot to Karen, just in her knowledge of what would be a appropriate number to go in, and due diligence and timing and earnest money, and this makes a big difference, because I would never have thought to change our due diligence or our earnest money at all, but that was one of the things she suggested changing, and I don't know what worked, but something worked. Yeah, my advice would be do not wait. If there's a house that you see that comes through, on your phone or whatever at 10 o'clock in the morning, figure out a way to go see it that day. The one that we bought, I think we were the first showing on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, and by noon they had 3 offers. Ours, like I said, we sold it, or we got the offer within 8 hours. I mean, you cannot think, I'll go see it this weekend. Just in the nature of the market right now, you got to figure out a way to make your schedule flexible enough that you can go and look at stuff. Typically what we saw was, if a house had been sitting there for 2-3 weeks, it wasn't one we wanted to make an offer on, and that's why it had been sitting there, because others didn't either. The ones that you're gonna want, they go really quick, and so I would just advise folks to figure out a way to make that work. It's a short time frame. Realize you're gonna have to be flexible for a little bit.
So for selling, in our current situation, we, like Megan was saying earlier, we had a vacation plan from way before, and so we knew that for 6 days we weren't going to be here, and with a dog at home and just all the logistics of family life and all that, that was the time that we had to not only have it ready, but ideally have an offer, because with our schedules and driving an hour and so to work, having to come home and get the house ready in the middle of a day or something, or every single day in the hopes that maybe there's going to be a showing that day, that just wasn't going to happen. So we planned and planned and planned, and then for that block of time that we were going to be out, Karen had everything lined up. She had open houses, she had all her documents and all the online, the advertisements and all that ready, the pictures, the staging. We all had and time to do all that, all the staging work that we had to do in preparation, all ready. And then by the time we left, 8 hours later we had an offer. So that, and then she just kept showing it after that too, which led to multiple offers. So, and then I would agree to what you said on the buying side. You can't hesitate. So, especially in a competitive market, you have to be ready to jump right in with a big offer and not kind of be scared of that. And then in a competitive market, you also have to negotiate. So you have to be a little, confident in your ability to counter offer things and ask for more, even though they could say no. So we were able to do some of that and get a lot out of the sellers of the house we're buying, even in a competitive market when they could walk away. We're able to kind of push and get some stuff we wanted.
And I would say, and one other thing is, realize that in this market, the idea of I'm going to negotiate, 10,000-15,000 below asking, and think, that used to be the case, right? You'd see the price and then you'd go in low. I guess it depends on the house, right? That might still be the case in some places, but again, if it's one that you're probably going to want, you got to realize that you're going to be at, if not over, what they're asking, just by the nature of the market, which is good if you're a seller. From a buyer's standpoint, it's not as fun.